Rent got too expensive, had to leave LA. So I got into my car and I went away to the big estate. Playing poker every day. Going all in with these fish like I'm at an all-you-can-eat buffet. We make the 5-hour drive east into Texas and decide to stop in a town called Lubbock. Up until now, the only thing I associated Lubbock with was Patrick Mahomes and Texas Tech University. Check out how pretty the campus is. We then head over to Stacks Social Club to check out the action. What's up, you guys? We made it to Lubbock, Texas, home of Stacks Poker House, Social Club, whatever you want to call it. This session was absolutely gnarly. We got into 2 crazy hands, one $2,500 pot, one over 4K pot. You don't want to miss it. Let's just get right into the hand. Let's go. Before I can even record, we play a $10 double board PLO bomb pot where I have a boat on the top and a flush on the bottom. We end up scooping that $1,000 pot. The game of choice here at Stacks is no limit hold'em, but instead of $1, $2 blinds, we're playing 5 to 25 on the button. Basically what that means is the button puts in their choice of anywhere between $5 and $25, and the action starts on the under the gun player. First hand of the night with $1,600 in our stack, we look down at King Jack offsuit and there's $15 on the button. I put in the call for $15 and 2 other players do as well, so we're going 4 ways to the flop. Flop comes Queen 8 deuce with 2 diamonds and I start with a check. The action checks around and the King of Diamonds is a pretty good card for us when that comes off on the turn. I check again. Middle position now decides to bet for $40 into the $60 pot, and when the action folds back around to me, even though the King of Diamonds did bring in the diamond draw, we made top pair, so I put in the call and we see the 3 of hearts on the river. Not a card that's going to change too much. I don't think a lead here makes too much sense. For that reason, I check it over to the middle position player again and he decides to check behind. I turn over my King Jack and the opponent mucks his card, so nice to take down the first pot of the night and the trip here at Stacks. $140 coming our way. Next hand, we look down at Ace Queen of Diamonds from early position. There's $15 on the button and I raise it up to $50. Middle position now raises all in for $110 and it folds back around to me and I put in the easy call. We're off to a run out. Run out comes Jack 10 8 with 2 clubs. Turn comes the Ace of Clubs, giving us top pair. We're feeling pretty good, and the River Deuce of Diamonds doesn't change too much. I turn over my Ace Queen, and she turns over Ace Deuce. So unfortunately, she got there on the river. Nice to get it in ahead, but unfortunately, the river was not kind to us. $250 going the other way. With $1,500 in our stack, we're playing a $5 double board PLO bomb pot. We flop a set on both boards, which is pretty rare considering we hit both of the 2 remaining 9s left in the deck. It checks to me, and I bet $50, which is the size of the pot, and we get 4 callers. Off to the turn, which brings in the Jack of Hearts on top and the 6 of Diamonds on the bottom. We still have a set on both boards, but it does get more connected on the top. Some straights get there and on the bottom as well. The action checks to me again, and I go for a sizable bet here of $250. I don't really think I'm going to be beat on both boards, and by betting big here, if we get an opponent that has a better hand on one of the boards to fold, it's definitely a win for us here. On both boards, there's also a flush draw, so we want to charge the maximum for the other opponents. No shortage of action here at Stacks. We get 4 callers again, so now there's $1,550 in the pot, and we see the Queen of Hearts and Jack of Clubs on the river on both boards. Pretty bad cards for us to see because the board doesn't pair. Additionally, on the top, it's a 4-liner to a straight, which we don't like to see. I decide to check on the river, and the under the gun goes all in now for $285. One other player puts in the call, and I get out of the way here thinking that I'm beat. Under the gun shows nut, and the guy to my right has ace king as well, so he ended up getting quartered. Pretty sizable pot there, but I'm just putting this hand in the vlog to show you the type of action here at Stacks. If there's no flop the hand prior, we get punished by playing a double board PLO bomb pot, which almost certainly will get the action going. We play our final double board PLO bomb pot. It's a $10 one this time, and we're off to the flop. Another favorable flop for us here. I flop a straight on top and trips on the bottom. The big blind leads out for pot, which is $100. Only I put in the call, so we're off to the turn. Turn pairs the board on top, which I don't like to see, and the bottom, so any jack now beats me on the bottom as well. When he jacks it over to me, I decide to check behind for some pot control. The river comes the 9 of spades and 6 of clubs, and now he decides to bet $10 into me here, which is kind of strange. Thinking I'm good on at least one of the boards, I apply the same principle of betting large, hoping to induce the opponent to fold, and we just scoop the pot instead of chopping it. That's what I do. I bet $250. The opponent ends up mucking his cards, and he shows a 4, so I would have chopped the bottom board. I probably had the top board locked up, so we would have 3/4'd him here, so he made a good fold, but we're going to be taking down that nice sized pot here in our last double board PLO bomb pot of the night. I then looked down at ace king of clubs on the button. On my button, I decided to put in $10 pre-flop. We get a few callers, and the middle position now raises it up to $50. Late middle position now goes all in for $80, and the action's back onto us on the button. Obviously a great spot here with ace king suited. I make the 4-bet to $205. The action folds back around to the middle position player, who re-raises me now to $475. That's a 5-bet, and usually when players make a play like this, it's pretty much the nuts. But I'm done folding pocket kings and other premium hands pre-flop. If he has the goods, he has the goods. I make the 6-bet all in here. I rip my $1,200 stack into the middle, hoping to get a fold, honestly. Middle position thinks about it for a little while, and when he doesn't snap call us, that's pretty good news. He most likely does not have kings, and he for sure does not have aces. Ace king is also in his range here, and when he puts in the call, we all show our cards. Sure enough, he does have ace king of the offsuit variety, and the other opponent, who only had $80, shows pocket deuces. We agreed to run the board twice for less variance. The first board comes jack 10-3 all spades. Oh no. Is the dealer really going to do it to us here with the king of spades in the opponent's hand? Turn gives him the flush. It comes the 8 of spades. He has the board locked up. We lost the first board no matter what. Off to a second board here. We need a clean run out. Hopefully the diamonds don't come from now. Deuce of diamonds in the window, followed by another one, the 4 of diamonds, but then the 8 of hearts. A nice black queen comes on the turn, and the river brings in the 6 of hearts. Unfortunately, because we did lose the first board, we're actually getting quartered in this hand. We lose the first board and chop the second board. Additionally, on the second board, the middle position player flops a set of deuces, so he gets some of it as well. What a very weird hand. Strange that we get quartered. Ace king versus ace king. The action here is nuts. After rebuying for $500 more and having my first ever honey bun, which by the way was very delicious, we look down at ace queen of spades. The $5 button is on and Barry straddles to $10. Middle position now raises it up to $40 and he gets 2 callers. Action's back onto me, and ace queen suited is a great hand. For that reason, I decide to raise it up to $215. Barry to my left puts in the call and everybody else gets out of the way. Flop comes jack 3-7 2 clubs. Not the best board for us, so I decide to start with a check. Barry now ships it all in my face for $680. I'm in the tank here. I'm thinking about my options, but even if he's semi-bluffing with a hand like pocket 5s, pocket 4s, something like that, we're in pretty bad shape, so I decide to just let my hand go and pick a better spot. Fortunately for us though, Barry decides to show us the good old 6-8 offsuit for 8 high. Our ace high was good here. Crazy that he decided to call $215 pre-flop with a hand like that, but he got the bluff through, and all credit to him. Nice hand, Barry. We rebuy for $300 more and look down at queen 10 of hearts from the cutoff. There's $25 on the button this time, and there's 1 caller to me. I decide to not raise here, and I just put in the call. Barry on my left, who is the button, decides to raise it up to $100, and the limper in between us folds. I'm tired of losing here. I have a nice hand like queen 10 suited. I decide to put in the $100 and play Barry out of position, heads up to a flop. Flop comes jack 8-9, bang, we flop a straight. Nothing to do here but to check it over to Barry, who decided to raise us pre-flop. That's what I do. Unfortunate news for us though is when Barry checks behind. Turn brings in the king of diamonds, and I decide to check it over to Barry again. This time though, he doesn't slow down. He bets $250 into the $225 pot. That's music to our ears, and I decide to go for the raise here. But since a raise here would represent a large portion of my stack, I decide a jam is appropriate. I'm just going to rip it all in here and hope that if he has a draw, he pays us off. Any 2 pair pair sets. Please, dealer, don't pair the board. Barry decides he wants to play for it all. He puts in the call as well, and we're off to the river here in a $2,225 pot. The river ends up giving us a flush, coming the 7 of hearts. I don't really think we need it though. I just flip my cards upright, and Barry decides to show us a king. Before mucking his cards, we're gonna take down that over 2K pot here, and we're back to feeling pretty good about our chances here of booking a W in the session. We then look down at ace 10 of hearts from the cutoff. There's $25 on the button, and the early position player decides to put in the call. I decide to go for the 3-bet here. I raise it up to $110, and both players call. Flop comes king 9-4 with 1 heart. Early position checks it over to me, and in between 2 opponents, I like to start with a check. That's what I do, and Barry on the button checks behind. Turn pairs the king, it comes a king of clubs, and early position checks it over to me for a second time. If I had a hand like ace king or king queen on the flop, I would have checked it, and now I would be going for value, so I decided to do that with my bluffs as well. I bet $130. Good news for us is when Barry gets out of the way, so no matter what, we're going to be going in position to a river. No need for that though. Early position gets out of the way as well, and our delayed c-bet is going to take down that nice $335 pot. Last hand of the night, and it's definitely the one you guys came for. It's a doozy. Definitely buckle your seatbelts here. There's $5 on the button, and we pick up pocket aces. What a great spot. So when the action folds to me, I raise it up to $25. Barry now 3-bets me to $50, and the middle position cold 4-bets to $175. The action obviously folds back around to me, and we have a decision here between flat calling and raising. Okay, it's not much of a decision. I'm obviously going to be going for the 5-bet. I'm not going to be calling here and giving the other opponent a good price to draw to a better hand. For that reason, I 5-bet to $515 pre-flop. Barry to my left thinks about it for a little while before ultimately putting in a large stack of green, indicating a call, and the middle position player doesn't want to miss out on the action as well. He puts in the call as well, so going 3 ways to the flop in an almost $1,600 pot. Flop comes jack deuce 3 with 2 hearts. We have the ace of hearts in our hand in case the board decides to get ugly on the turn. I'm first to act here, and we definitely have an interesting decision. There's almost $1,600 in the pot, and at this point we have around $1,350 or $1,400 in our stack. If we go for a 1/3 pot size bet here of $500, we're giving the opponents a good price to call in my opinion. If they have a heart draw, if they have pocket kings or pocket queens, I don't think they're going to be folding anyways on this board, so I decide to go for the maximum value here and rip my entire stack all in. Barry decides to let his hand go after a little bit of hemming and hawing, and the action's on the middle position player. He thinks about it for a little while as well, before ultimately finding a call for $1,400. The pot is nearly $4,400, which has got to be the biggest pot I've ever played in my life. I turn over my pocket aces, and the opponent shows pocket kings. I ask him if he wants to run it 1 or twice. I always like running it multiple times for limited risk, as you saw on the hand earlier with ace king versus ace king. Crazy things happen sometimes, so I like to limit my risk, especially in the largest pot I've ever played in my life. He agrees. We're running it 2 times. The first board comes the deuce of clubs, followed by the 6 of clubs. We're going to take that one down. No matter what, we're getting at least half of this pot. The second board pairs the 3. It comes the 3 of hearts. The river comes the jack of clubs. So we're going to take down that board as well. We're going to ship the last hand of the night here, a $4,400 pot, the largest hand I've ever won in my life. Barry then says something crazy that he folded pocket queens. We had pocket aces against pocket kings and pocket queens and held. Lucky for us, another guy at the table didn't have pocket jacks. Otherwise, we would have lost on both boards. If you guys like my content and like me playing in the higher stakes, please consider subscribing. Drop a like on this video. I just played the largest pot of my life for you guys. Absolutely nuts. Right, you guys, we're back in the hotel. A big W tonight. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. The results of the session: got into the game for 1,800, out for 4,260. So what's that a profit of? 2,460. The results of the whole road trip will be right here. It's going up. Texas is treating us well. Drop a like on this video. Subscribe if you're new. Leave a comment down below. As always, good luck on the felt. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. Thanks for watching to the end of my video. Click my head below to subscribe and stay in the loop. See you next time.